Patriarchy is a distorted idea. It's a distorted idea, for God's sakes. Hi, I'm Amarachi. Let's talk. Let's talk, girl. This is gonna be shaky a little bit because I'm on my laptop. What is my cat doing? Drug out? What is he doing? It's just rubbing on boxes. I guess it's just rubbing on boxes. Let me leave him alone. I'm always bothering him. Drogo. What was I saying? Okay, so this is gonna be a little bit shaky because I'm using my laptop. I'm not using my phone and stuff, so I'm using my laptop camera, and if it's not super clear, that's also the reason why. But I'm here really just to gist with y'all, to talk to. I'm mad distracted, so I don't know what he's doing. Jokey. Okay. Alright, what were you doing, buddy? What were you doing over there? You were just rubbing? Okay. Anyways, I just didn't want to have a whole setup with my phone. My phone camera is normally like the really good camera. So I'm on my laptop camera right now because I'm just chilling, buddies. I'm chilling, girls. I'm chilling, man. I'm just chilling. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about what I've been hearing through the grapevine. These little kids are wilding out here in these streets. I think I wrote earlier on Twitter that first we had Darius, Keke Palmer's baby's father, and then we had Jonah Hill with his text message to his ex-girlfriend. And for some reason, DDG, Haley Bailey's boyfriend or whatever, wants to like admit to the world his insecurities about her career and her working with other men. I remember saying to a male friend of mine that men are so much more worried about another man's peen than they are about the women that they're with. They're worried about the other man getting their woman, the other man having more money than them, the other man. And by being so concerned about the other man, they're over here misusing, harming, and subjecting the women around them. It seems that certain men who are led by patriarchy are just using us as tools. And I wish a lot more women will really open their eyes to it and not give them the time of day. Leave them lacking. It doesn't serve us to play into that game. It doesn't serve women to play into patriarchy. It does not. It hasn't, and it never will. So when I see a lot of women who also practice within the patriarchy, I'm left to believe that there's no freaking hope for mankind. And there's no hope for us as women, really. Because how is it so easy for you to adopt that ideology and be so comfortable in an ideology that speaks of you as a tool, not a human being, as a literal tool to use, manipulate, and abuse? I could be mad at a lot of men for the rest of my life, right? But I'm more so disappointed at the women who align themselves with patriarchal ideology. And they don't even know that they align themselves in patriarchal, misogynistic ideology, anti-femme, anti-women ideology. They do not even know that they align with those ideologies. Because when you point it out to them, they start doubling down on the ideology as if they're doing something outside of it. And it's kind of weird because a lot of those people who align with patriarchy, they have a hard time receiving the term and word misogyny. They really have a hard time with that. They have a hard time with the strict definition of words that describe their character, that describe their behavior. And I always say to people who have an issue with the words that describe their behavior to stop behaving that way, and then no one is gonna call you all of that. Just stop behaving in a way that is misogynistic and patriarchal so that no one calls you that. Behaviors have terminology, and the terminology mean things. So cut the behavior and all will be well. Change your behavior. If you don't change your behavior, then sorry buddy, but we're gonna continue to call you exactly what you're acting like. I don't know what you want. I definitely don't know what you want. But it's just gonna be a situation where it is what it is. You're a misogynistic, patriarchal centered human being, and it is what it is. You don't want to be called that, then stop acting like one. The maths, right? Because you have enough sense, right, to know exactly how to utter words that are demeaning. You have enough sense to do that, but you don't even have enough sense to understand what those words mean, to understand where those words are derived from, to understand how those words are even applied to you. But yeah, like Keke Palmer's baby's father had the nerve to write what he wrote. I'm sure all of you guys know about it. And then we have Jonah Hill with a series of text messages of another form of manipulation and borderline abuse. And then we have DDG over here sharing his little journal to us. I'm sure it's a piece of music that he's just written, expressing his feelings towards his partner, Hailey Bailey. And all of that is nice. It's good. Express yourself, express yourself, express yourself. But after you've expressed yourself, what are you going to do to change your situation? Are you waiting for Hailey to stop doing what she's doing that supports her livelihood in order for you to feel better? Or are you going to take your ass to fucking therapy and really, really dig into why you feel so insecure about your partner's career? I can understand certain boundaries when it comes down to, can you not be so cozy with your co-stars because it looks kind of funny? But at the same time, you need to allow your partner to reassure you that they do not have feelings for their co-stars, and what they are doing is acting and putting on a mask, just like the role that they played, for promotion purposes only. After promotion is done, they don't even have contact with that person. Get your partners to reassure you when you are insecure, instead of accusing them of the most heinous behavior that they themselves are like, where is this coming from? Because there's a line between being insecure, and then there's a line when it comes to being paranoid, and then there's another line when it comes to trying to implement your insecure paranoia on someone else's bodily and personal autonomy. And not only that, but to speak so low of your partner as if they committed the crime that you're insecure about. Until Hailey Bailey comes out saying that she's in love with her co-star, please shut up. And I get it. People can cheat, and you will never know that they are cheating on you. If that were to happen, it wouldn't even be your fault. Even if you didn't assert your insecurities to the world, it still wouldn't be your fault if Hailey cheated on you with her co-star. It would be all of Hailey's fault. So before any of that even happened, how about we take a deep breath and we breathe into that distortion and collect our words and just share our distortion to a professional who can actually help us come back to reality, undistorted reality. Because there is a reality that exists. And if you choose to ignore the reality because you're so influxed within your distortions, you are doing yourself in. That is no one's fault but yours. This is why mental health is so important. Because a lot of us have distorted views of our reality and we don't even know it. And we move in ways that emphasizes our insecurities and our fears and our lacks. It emphasizes it. And it's up to us to learn the difference between when our mind is going down a very distorted path. We need to learn how to draw that back in and say, oh, my mind is playing tricks on me because nothing is happening here. And until something happens, I don't need to freak out. When something happens, this is how I'm going to handle it. Then you prepare yourself. It's kind of like going back to that phrase that says, hope for the best and prepare for the worst, or something like that. I'm going to hope for the best, but I'm going to also be realistic and say it might go wrong. It might go wrong, and if it goes wrong, alright, at least let me prepare for when it does go wrong, so that I'm not sitting here wasting a lot of my energy. I'll probably still be upset, but it probably won't last that long because I already kind of expected it to go sideways, you know? We all need to learn how to do this, even in relationships, because relationships are not guaranteed to last forever, even if you put a lot of effort into them. They're not guaranteed to last forever because a relationship is between two people, and sometimes two people are just not aligned. At certain points in their life, they may not be aligned. That reality has to be respected. It has to be respected, and it has to be honored, and it has to be acknowledged, because it will happen. It's just the way life and having a human experience goes. You're not always aligned because you have the freedom and luxury to shift and move and pivot and change your mind and all of that stuff. We're not fixed creatures. Humans, we're very abstract, we're very complex. So we have to acknowledge that in order to be more prepared for when changes do happen, so that our mind and our body can adjust to those changes. When we're ill prepared, we end up making really erratic decisions that turn our problems to worse problems. So the least we could do as human beings is to learn how to prepare ourselves for a possible shift, because it's gonna come, it's gonna happen. We will have to make a choice to say, okay, let me pivot. Change gonna come, let me pivot, let me try something else. Let me try it that way. I never tried it that way before. Let me see if that way works. To be so obsessed with an idea and a fantasy is being obsessed with your distortion. And that is not healthy. It's not healthy for you, nor is it healthy for the people around you. So these men that are working in this system of patriarchy is a fucking distorted idea. It's a distorted idea, for God's sakes. It doesn't help anyone, not even the people who practice it. It really doesn't. They might pretend and say that it does, but it doesn't. But anyways, I'm exhausted myself just talking about this. So I'm just gonna get out of here. Alright, thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing your time with me. And hopefully I come back on and I'll check you guys later. Alright, peace.